What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So first off, I want to say happy MLK Day. And in this video, we're going to take a look at Representative Gottheimer and Representative Bacon. And they're going to be talking about bipartisanship and how we can get some of Build Back Better, some of those proposals through Congress. But first off, on this channel, we talk about financial news and current events. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so what's significant about these two Congress people is you have one Democrat, one Republican, and they're talking about the Build Back Better proposal. And they're talking about some of the different parts of it, some of the parts that they think they can move in a bipartisan fashion. So this is really good news for seniors, and we're gonna play it. We'll talk a little bit about it as we watch it. But I think this is a good news story. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here we go.
I want to get to Build Back Better. Okay, so here's something did not, of course, have bipartisan support, but there are pieces of it that have bipartisan support. So I'm curious if you two guys who worked well, for instance, together on the bipartisan infrastructure bill, see a way forward of agreement. First of all, to you, Congressman Gottheimer, are there pieces of this you'd be willing to take out of BBB and work with folks like Congressman Bacon to get passed?
Well, I'm always willing to work with Congressman Bacon, and I want to thank him for the bipartisan work we did on the hard infrastructure package. Don and others voted for it. We did it in a bipartisan way as the historic infrastructure package: roads, bridges, rails, tunnels, water, electric vehicles, you name it, for our physical infrastructure to make sure that we're competitive with countries like China, which are key for our economy. I think there's plenty of pieces of Build Back Better that I'm hoping we could work together on, whether that's dealing with clean air and clean water, making sure we get prescription drug costs down. Obviously, I'm for supporting and getting behind reinstating the state local tax deduction to get taxes down in Jersey and others. But I think if we sat down, I know there's places we could find common ground. But let's just say, Jim, that we still are going to get that passed. I'm not willing to walk away on getting Build Back Better done.
Congressman.
Okay, so they're still not giving. He's a Democrat, Representative Gottheimer, and he's saying, "Look, we still want to work on Build Back Better." I think at this point they need a piecemeal. They need small bills. You're not going to be able to pass Build Back Better. It's just not going to happen. Senator Manchin's already been very clear about this. Senator Sinema as well. They're not going to move on Build Back Better.
Bacon, would you, for instance, support a separate provision that sought to control prescription drug prices? I mean, that's an issue both parties seem to be on board with.
Absolutely. We're paying too much for prescription drugs right now. And it's just the devil's in the details, because some proposals cut into research and development. But the areas that I think that there would be broad support.
Okay, so that first part there, and he's going to go into something else, but he's talking about prescription drug reform. And this is good. This is very good, because we're looking at a situation right now where we know prescription drug prices are just through the roof. Now, I did a recent poll when it came to prescription drug costs, and here are the results here. And so the question that I posed here: do you think prescription medication is too expensive? We had 3,200 people participate in the poll. 97% of the people that participated in the poll said that yes, it's too expensive. You still had 3% that said, you know what? They think that the prices of medication are priced right. But for the most part, you see that everyone thinks that prescription medication is way too expensive. And so I'm glad that they talked a little bit about that when it came to prescription drug costs and potentially having some type of prescription drug reform. This could be something that could be a bipartisan bill. And so we'll have to follow it and see where it goes. But this is really good news when it comes to seniors, because seniors pay a lot more when it comes to prescription drugs. And generally, when you're younger, you don't have as many medications that you're taking, so you're not paying as much. But when you're older, you're taking more prescription medication on average, and so that means you're paying more when it comes to healthcare costs, prescription medication. Okay, let's go ahead and get back to the video. Here we go.
I think that there would be broad support is in the Medicare realm, where our seniors are having a hard time getting dental care, hearing aids, eyeglasses.
Now, this sounds a lot like Bernie Sanders. He was talking about the same thing when it came to Medicare reform. We're talking about dental, vision, hearing. So you have Representative Bacon, who's a Republican, saying the same things. And this is good. This is good because this means that maybe they can find common ground and move forward with some type of Medicare reform.
I think that that's an area that we could build on because, I mean, I have an 81-year-old father I have 2 in-laws that are in their 80s, and dental care and eyeglasses, hearing aids are all issues. And I know it's not just my family. I know that's all over America right now. So that is an area that I think we could work on and make a big difference for our senior citizens.
Yeah, I mean, that's a point Bernie Sanders has made, right, about expanding that kind of coverage. I do want to talk big picture for a moment here. Congressman Gottheimer, do you worry that the Democratic leadership, both in the House and the Senate, but also the president, overshot in terms of how broad they went with BBB, but even voting rights, right? I mean, 50-50 majority in the Senate, slim one in the House as well. Was that a problem here?
I think you need to set out an aggressive agenda for the country and to help families. I think that's exactly what president should do. What we've always been focused on in the Problem Solvers Caucus, the 29 Democrats and 29 Republicans, is looking for places where we can get things done and and over the finish line. We did that in the infrastructure package. I think, as you just heard, there's areas where we can work together, whether that's childcare or making life more affordable for our seniors. There are plenty of places where I think we can come together, and I think now it's our responsibility to do that. And I think, I'm hoping this week we obviously get that piece of legislation out of the Senate on voting rights. I think it's really important. And if we need to sit down and work together, which I think we should, we have a resposibility to do, then we should do it. And
just quickly, Congressman Bacon, because we're 1 out of time, I did want to give you a chance for even balance here. Your former president wants you to get primaried just because you voted for a bipartisan infrastructure bill. Is there a future for Republicans who are willing to work with Democrats?
Absolutely. I'm a patriot first. I love my country. And if we don't start finding consensus areas, China's going to surpass us and we won't be the world superpower. I need to work with people like Josh, who's willing to work in the middle and find consensus areas. And he's done a great job with that. And I appreciate his leadership on the Problem Solvers Caucus. But we have to find consensus areas if our country wants to move forward and compete with China. I want our country to be the strongest, most competitive country in the world. And it's going to take working across the aisle to get that done.
Okay, so there were the 2 representatives there. Now, there's one thing I want to talk about, Representative Bacon, what he was talking about when it came to working together. We have to come to an understanding that in order for us to move forward, and Representative Bacon was saying this, in order for us to move forward, we have to work together. Now, if we want to fight back and forth and not move forward, then you're going to have these other countries that are they're going to pass us up. And so in situations like this, and it's unfortunate, they were talking about Representative Bacon, they're trying to primary him. Basically, President Trump or former President Trump is trying to find a candidate to run against a Representative Bacon because Representative Bacon voted for that first infrastructure bill. And this is the kind of stuff that I think is ridiculous. We should have bipartisan bills. We should have politicians on both sides of the aisle voting for the American people, to help the American people. And when we have people out there that are trying to divide the country and divide politicians and run against politicians because they wanted to do something bipartisan, that is not going to move us forward. It's just going to move us back, and we'll be in a situation where we will let China and we will let some of these other countries pass us up, because we're fighting against each other instead of trying to move forward. So I'm glad to see that you have these 2 politicians. They're actually talking about some of the things that we've been talking about for months and months when it comes to Medicare reform, when it comes to prescription drug reform. And there are a lot of other issues that are out there that I think you'll have some bipartisanship. You'll have some politicians on both sides of the aisle that'll say, yeah, you know what, this is something that we can work with, especially now, especially during an election year. That's another thing you have to think about. These are 2 representatives. They're both running for re-election. And so, of course, they're gonna come out and let you see, yes, we want to do this, we want to do that. Now is the time to get these bills passed. It's time now, because if you wait until after the election, unfortunately, these politicians, sometimes after an election, they're going to take a deep breath and say, okay, I have a little bit of time now, so we don't have to get things done right away. We can kind of take our time. And so we don't want them to take their time. We want them to get stuff done now. So if they get stuff done before the election, that's what the target should be. So when we hear these politicians come out and they say, yes, we're for this or we're for that, we need to hold them to that, and we need to make certain that we follow up with them to make sure that they're implementing some of these things that they're talking about now. I want to know what you guys think about all this, so let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.